everybody, welcome to News by Muse. We are here. If you're a Supercross fan, this is the documentary you want to see. Pay Dirt, the story of Supercross, which for me, working at Anaheim Stadium every January, would go out to lunch, sit on the seats and watch practice for Supercross. And we have Jimmy Button, former Supercross number two in the world. What was it like to be a part of this documentary and really tell the story of not only you, but the whole sport?
I mean, it's certainly an honor to obviously growing up a young kid in the sport, and then to have been able to have a great career in the sport, and now to be able to go back, now being 50 years old, and to be able to kind of tell the stories of what we did, how we did it, and just to be a part of the sports history is, I mean, for me, obviously, it's a great honor, and it's at the same time, it's great to see um, you know, us having our time to be able to introduce our sport, which we all think is fantastic, to the rest of the world out there that might not know about it much or about it at all. And so it's definitely nice to be a part of this, and happy to spread the word about how cool I think the sport is.
Yeah, and it's such like I truly enjoy it. Growing up, that was like every winter here in LA. I mean, that's what you look forward to with Supercross coming into town, and it's such a fun sport. And your story is just amazing, especially everything that you've done has been just like I followed you when I was a kid. Well, we're around close to the same age, so we came up around the same time.
Yeah.
But you have such an amazing career to talk about, and what happened before and after is just amazing. What was it been like after, I mean, you did have, and everybody knows you had a really bad accident, but you're able to walk again. You're bike riding, you started your own nonprofit. I think your career after Supercross is even been even bigger than what you did when you were in Supercross. Tell us a little bit about your story and what you're doing now.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously the injury in 2000 was devastating. It ended the career, in a blink of an eye. But since then, and since the recovery, I was able to go out and start the Road Recovery Foundation, which we're a 501(c)(3) that helps out, catastrophically injured athletes, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries similar to mine. We're able to help those kids out, those young men and women that end up getting injured in this sport, help them out financially, spiritually, guide them through rehab and therapies, and then also the absolute jigsaw puzzle to work through the medical system with insurance companies and the hospitals. So the foundation does that, and we're going on our 25th year here shortly. As a 25th year, my accident is shortly upon us here, but yeah, doing that, and then I've been working with young athletes. A couple of years after my accident, I started an agency and have been working with young riders and helping them guide them through their careers and helping them navigate the waters of this sport and how it's developed and become bigger and larger, and helping them, kind of avoid as many pitfalls as possible. And then, I have other interests outside of that, and have been able to start a family. And I got a couple of great kids now, and beautiful wife. And so, yeah, I mean, things, in my life are pretty good. Getting hurt wasn't awesome, but in the wake of that has come a lot of beautiful things.
And you've done a lot of great work, especially with sports injuries and the way things have changed over the last 25 years. Especially in Supercross. I mean, it's a dangerous sport still, but a lot of the preventative things that have come out of all these injuries that would happen when we're younger have really transcended the sport now and really helped riders nowadays.
Yeah, I mean the equipment that we have, I would like to think that if the equipment of today existed when I was racing, I probably wouldn't be in the position I'm in. But that's the way things work, right? That's the evolution of life and sport and athletics and everything else. So I think this generation is better off for what we did,
Mhm.
and we were better off for what happened a generation before us.
Yeah.
And so that evolution continues. And for anybody that knows the sport or has been around the sport or has been to races over the course of the last, call it 10 or 15, 20 years even, and certainly those longer, I mean, it's very obvious to see the development not only of the bikes, but just of everything, right? The show itself of Supercross. I mean, it's a damn good product that they put out every Saturday night, and then the athletes themselves are multiple steps above where we were. Um, they are amazing human beings, and I certainly wouldn't want to go up against any of them these days.
That's the way I feel sometimes when I go out and I'm playing basketball or even try to ride a skateboard again. I'm like, nah, I had my time. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But to talk about the sport has grown so much in the last 25 years. More shows, television contracts are always big, and they've gotten that
Yeah.
television contract. It is crazy how international now it has become.
Yeah, the sport has grown, I mean, really in leaps and bounds. I would say that we were, the 90s era, we were somewhat of the early pioneers, with it only starting in the 70s. The guys in the 80s kind of got the thing going, and then I would say that our group, our decade, kind of started getting it out there, bigger on an international level, getting more media, and now it's blossomed into just an unbelievable sport. I think you can recognize things by when other, highline athletes or whatever that may be, when they are tuning in to watch you, and obviously it's easy to see these days with social media, and you have the likes of Formula One drivers or football players or baseball players that are, they're on their social medias talking about motocross and supercross. So you have these really kind of mainstream athletes that are fans of the sport, and I think that just shows what a cool sport it is. Yeah, it's not stick and ball. We're not Monday Night Football, but it's a really good product that's being put out. It's super entertaining. In all my years, I've never taken to a race and they've not walked away just an absolute instant fan and want to go to another event. So as you know, I mean, it's good entertainment. It's good family entertainment for the from the youngest to the oldest in the family, which is great. A lot of stories are being told during a race, and certainly in the pits. And we got a couple pretty spicy characters these days that we get some good interviews from. So yeah, I mean, I think the sport's in a great place, and it's really poised to take another huge leap forward over the coming years. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely. I only have a couple questions left, and one has to be a fun one. When you were racing, what was your favorite course when you were racing? What did you love every year looking forward to?
The track, with Supercross, the tracks change year to year and weekend to weekend. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint a particular track in Supercross I liked. But during our off season, we would go do a bunch of European races, and there was a track that we did. All of us actually went to it. It was a couple weeks after the last race, and it was in Italy. And it wasn't a great track to race on, but like riding the track when you would have practice and qualifying with all your buddies, it just had a lot of jumps. There was, and the crowd there was, with their chainsaws and their horns and cowbells and everything else. It was just a really good time and a fun event to ride at. And it had gone away for a few years, and somebody just recently purchased the track and started the race back up again, which is cool. And it's called the Fast Cross.
Mhm.
It's a super fun race that I always really look forward to. And plus, always bouncing away to Italy for a paid weekend is not a bad time.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Well worth it. And before I let
yeah,
you go, I want to make sure that we get the word out about your 501(c)(3) charities after people could go out and support and help in the work that you're doing. Give us a little sales pitch on what on the
yeah.
charities that we get people to help out.
Yeah, I mean, our foundation can you can find it at Road,
Mhm.
ROAD, the number two, recovery.com. And you can go on there and you can check out all that we do, the people that we help, what we do to help them out. You can watch some videos and some stories of guys that we've helped out over the years. And we try to be a good asset to our community in sport. And we try to help as much as we can. It's when these big injuries happen, it's a pretty difficult path that the families and the athletes themselves have to walk. So we try to be there right there with them and walk them through the best way possible because it's really uncharted waters for all these guys. So we try to be a lending hand and help them out financially, emotionally, spiritually, guide them through different therapies, and just try to get them to that next chapter in life. As one chapter closes, another one opens, and so we just try to help them through it as much as possible. And we kind of live and breathe off of the support that we get from fans and other contributors to the foundation. So anything that we get from anybody is well appreciated.
Yep, exactly. Hey, thank you so much, Jimmy, for stopping with us. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on this documentary and being part of it and telling the story of Supercross. And Pay Dirt, the story of Supercross is out in theaters January 24th. Watch it because if you were a fan, and even if you weren't a fan, you're gonna be a fan again because it is such a great documentary. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for stopping with us.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Take care.